Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, life just doesn't turn out the way you expected? Like you followed the right path, did what you were told, but something still feels off. The truth is, there are things about life that nobody really prepares you for. Not because they're secret, but because they're uncomfortable to accept. And once you see them, you can't unsee them. So let's break this down. 1. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you think. At some point, almost everyone overthinks how they're being perceived. You replay conversations in your head, analyze how you sounded, or worry about what people might think of your decisions. It feels like there's a spotlight on you, like people are constantly watching and judging every move. But here's the thing. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves to focus on you. They're replaying their own mistakes, worrying about their own image, dealing with their own insecurities. Once you realize this, it becomes freeing. You stop holding yourself back because the audience you feared was never really there in the first place. 2. Hard work doesn't always pay off immediately. You've probably been told that if you work hard enough, things will fall into place. So you put in the effort, stay consistent, and expect results to show up sooner or later. But then reality hits. Sometimes nothing happens for a long time. And this is where most people give up. Not because they're incapable, but because they expected a fair and predictable system. Life doesn't always reward effort on your timeline. Sometimes the results are delayed, invisible, or come in unexpected forms. The real challenge isn't working hard. It's continuing without immediate validation. 3. Some people will misunderstand you, and that's okay. No matter how clearly you explain yourself, there will always be people who interpret you differently. They might misunderstand your intentions, question your choices, or see you through their own biases. It can feel frustrating, especially when you know who you truly are. But here's what most people don't realize. You don't actually need everyone to understand you. Trying to control how others perceive you is exhausting and often pointless. The more you accept that being misunderstood is part of life, the more energy you have to focus on what truly matters. For your comfort zone is quietly holding you back. Comfort feels safe. It feels familiar. You know what to expect, and there's a certain peace in that predictability. So naturally, you stay where things feel manageable, even if it's not where you truly want to be. But this is where it gets interesting. Growth rarely happens in comfort. The longer you stay in a space that feels good enough, the harder it becomes to leave. And over time, comfort can turn into stagnation. The things you avoid today slowly become the limits of your future. 5. You outgrow people, and they outgrow you. Relationships don't always end because something went wrong. Sometimes they just change. People evolve, priorities shift, and paths that once aligned slowly drift apart. It can feel confusing, especially when there's no clear conflict or closure. Most people don't talk about this part. Not every connection is meant to last forever, and that's not a failure. It's part of growth. Learning to appreciate what a relationship was without forcing it to remain the same is a sign of emotional maturity. 6. Discipline will take you further than motivation ever will. Motivation feels powerful, but it's also unpredictable. Some days you wake up ready to take on the world, and other days, even simple tasks feel overwhelming. If you rely only on motivation, your progress becomes inconsistent. This is where discipline changes everything. Discipline isn't about feeling inspired. It's about showing up anyway. It's the quiet decision to keep going even when you don't feel like it. Over time, those small, consistent actions build something that motivation alone never could. 7. Not making a decision is still a decision. It's easy to delay choices, especially when the outcome feels uncertain. You tell yourself you'll decide later, wait for a better moment, or hope things will become clearer over time. It feels safer than risking the wrong move. But most people don't realize this. Doing nothing is still choosing something. You're choosing to stay in the same place, to let time pass, to accept whatever comes from inaction. And sometimes, the cost of not deciding is greater than making a mistake and learning from it. 8. You're responsible for your life, even when it's not your fault. Life isn't always fair. Things happen that you didn't choose, situations you didn't create, challenges you didn't deserve. It's natural to feel frustrated or even stuck because of it. But here's the shift that changes everything. Even if something isn't your fault, it's still your responsibility to deal with it. That doesn't mean blaming yourself. It means taking ownership of what happens next. And that's where your real power is. 9. Time moves faster than you think. At first, it feels like you have all the time in the world. You tell yourself you'll start later, fix things eventually, or chase your goals someday. And without realizing it, weeks turn into months, and months turn into years. This is where most people get caught off guard. Time doesn't slow down just because you're not ready. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. But the opposite is also true. The moment you begin, even in a small way, everything starts to shift. The truth is, life doesn't come with clear instructions. A lot of the most important lessons are things you only understand after experiencing them. And while some of these truths might feel uncomfortable, they're also what help you grow, adapt, and move forward with clarity. At the end of the day, it's not about having everything figured out. It's about becoming more aware of how life really works so you can make better decisions moving forward. If this made you think differently, stick around, because this is just the beginning.